It wasn't until people started dying and there were massive health effects to the shot that these people started to at least begin to ask bigger questions. To be honest with you, I find it quite frustrating that those of us that see are treated the way that we are. Well, however many subject matters you study during that 17-year period. So to have put in all that time, to made all the sacrifices of personal time, free time, chase and skirt time, or whatever other thing, going to the bar time I might have otherwise done, to make all those sacrifices, to literally put in the work that it takes to consume the information that gives rise to the awareness, then the awareness starts to broaden, to be able to have the eyes to see, to have spent all of the time that I have to do that for myself. I feel as flaccid as a limp dick to be able to share what I've learned, because everybody's got an ego. That ego tells them that what they see and perceive is correct, because hey, we need to feel significant even if in our own mind. So largely what we face when we experience these things is you are literally butting up against somebody's unevolved ego. If they're psychologically like children, the childlike state that they're in, and then their ego fires off, so you get the child and the ego, because they've obviously never done any work to tame or keep control over, as well as their pride. And to realize that you are not going to get through to somebody because of those reasons, it's kind of infuriating. It's infuriating. People are not willing or capable to humble themselves. So few people are willing or capable to be uncomfortable. Just literally taking in, consuming, having someone present to them objective truths that they have not perceived themselves. Truths that still remain imperceptible to them. And the responses that they spit out, for lack of a better way of putting it, to those people who are literally going out of their way to try to show them something that they have not been capable of their own devices to see for themselves, that I have to fight through. I don't have a huge ego. I just have confidence in the fact that I know what the fuck I know because I put the time in. And look at how quickly the immature, psychological child, ego-driven douchebag will try and flip that around on me as being some arrogant prick full of yourself, know-it-all, pick your label, where they're trying to put you down, make you feel small, pull you down to their level like crabs in a bucket. All because you simply tried to show them something that they were incapable of seeing for themselves. And then they have to sit with the fact that they were fools. I'm not coming from a place of my shit don't stink. I've always been an awakened, evolved being. I'm so much better than you. No, I've come from the quote-unquote depths of fucking hell to get to where I am. I just cannot fucking believe the type of childish, ridiculous shit that I have encountered through this shit over the last year and a half. It's fucking appalling. It's offensive as fuck. I just cannot believe the amount of shit that I've had thrown at me, where people can exhibit their dislike of you or your efforts in a passive-aggressive way and tell everybody around them, well, I didn't do anything. It's just, I am so fucking sick and tired of the psychological fucking games, the psychological children, the unconscious, unevolved, unaware, uneducated, not even curious enough to do any research for themselves. And I've spent so much time trying to help these people to see, those that I encounter, and it's just fucking, it's gotten to the point where it's sickening to me, and I don't even want to try. There is, other motherfuckers out there that see this shit, and we just can't get through. I mean, the level of control over people's minds, the level of damage that's done to the minds by parents and society and teachers and pastors and preachers that damages the developing minds of the developing child to the point that when they're in their 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s, you're dealing with a psychological child, you're dealing with somebody who's wholly ignorant, never sought to self-educate themselves, never sought to do anything to improve themselves. I feel so fucking despondent. And apathy on some levels is creeping in because, the old saying, you can only kick a dog so many times before it stops coming back. And from the purest place, from a loving place, from a benevolent place, I'm just so fucking sick and tired of the responses that I get and how these people respond, react, and behave. It's driven to a place of seeing people as dumb, unthinking, bipedal herd animals that are unconscious, unaware, unthinking, don't think for themselves, can't critically think, can't use logic, can't use reason. And these are all fundamental human faculties that we all need to be using. And if we are not, we are much more like animals. We are much more sheep-like, much more herd-like, much easier to be led or to be driven because we're not thinking for ourselves. Anyway, I know the sacrifices that I made to be in service to humans, to be in service to humanity. I made more sacrifices that so few people on this planet would make for the greater good, to be in service to the larger whole of humanity. And I still struggle with the acceptance of the fact. I have gone through a gauntlet of gauntlets. I have had so many fucking narcissists. I'm surprised. I can't believe that this has been my ultimate fate for doing something like that. You would never expect that when you do the types of things that I did, that it put me in the fucking situation that I'm in now, that it would ever wind up to quite literally being homeless. It's fucking sickening. And I put myself in this position. I did it to myself, but I did it because I spent 10 months, 11 months having these synchronicities with people. You just never expect that somebody that does that, takes that massive leap of faith, fucking sacrifices their career, their home, their possessions, and spends all of their goddamn money in this life to sweat in the jungles, to learn what was necessary, to then begin helping to heal those in your country. There are too few people on this planet that would be willing to do that, or not that many people that would be willing to do that. Most people say, walk away from my job. What are you, crazy? Walk away from my career? Walk away from my house? Walk away from all my stuff? Sell all my stuff? Then spend all the money going down and do. Most people would think you're fucking nuts. That's what I mean. There's not a whole lot of people that would do what I did. And I did what I did from a fucking benevolent place. The humanitarian in me, the fact that I actually care about humans, I'm still shocked, appalled, frustrated, infuriated that this is my fucking fate. And it's not like I'm 29. Oh, no. Stack 2 decades on that. I'm just shy of fucking 50 years old. And it's just like, oh my God, I cannot fucking believe that this is the fate that I have to experience. It's like, what the fuck? How could this possibly be this way? It hurts. It sucks. I'm more pissed. I'm resentful. I'm infuriated. I'm appalled. And at this stage of my life, I don't know what to do. And I just still sit here stunned and in shock and awe that with what efforts I put forth and for the reasons that I did it, that this is my fucking fate. I just cannot. By and large, it's, oh my God, man, you just tried living this shit. But I'll be goddamned, man. The things that I've said about you can educate yourself in such a way that it has a profound effect of separating you from the herd. It would just be nice to once meet somebody that's actually on my fucking level, that wasn't faking it and wasn't a fucking narcissist, man.